The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi, Amaechi, says that the completion of the Apapa Port Rail Track project is key to tackling the frustrating traffic gridlock in Lagos State. Amaechi, while inspecting the progress of work and the state of completion of train terminals along the Lagos-Abeokuta-Ibadan rail corridor, says the federal government is committed to ensuring the port project is completed and commissioned before the end of January 2021. Our correspondent, Amaechi, reports.
The inspection commenced from the Apapa port in Lagos. The team, led by the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, took time out to assess the ongoing construction of the standard gauge rail tracks and a new narrow gauge rail track into the port to help haul goods out of the ports.
This inspection is to sensitize the contractor that they have to hurry up and ensure they deliver before the end of January, which we are hoping to do the commissioning. We are cross-checking them with the timeline, what they are supposed to deliver. So that's what all these inspections we are doing. So not to just see it on paper, but to, according to them, they say to I-mark, not to a mark, but to see what they are doing.
The team also visited the APM terminal office within the port complex. After a presentation by the country manager of the APM terminals, Klaus Lawson, the minister urged them to collaborate with the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation to help ensure speedy completion of the project. Amaechi says the rail track construction into the ports is key to the federal government's plan to tackling a frustrating traffic situation within Lagos metropolis.
What is critical is that we must find a solution to the gridlock. The moment we begin to move cargoes from the seaport to at least Ibadan, then the pressure on Lagos will reduce drastically.
The inspection followed with an oversight on construction works on the major terminals along the Lagos-Ibadan rail corridor. The progress of the work, the quality of work, and the speed were also assessed. The team also gave updates on the operation of commercial train services along the Lagos-Abeokuta-Ibadan train route, which recently commenced.
The day we started, one passenger followed from Ibadan. As at yesterday, we have 132. And on the first day, we had 8 passengers leaving Lagos to Ibadan. Yesterday, we have 178 passengers. We did not advertise it because we are just only one round trip. We don't want to be overwhelmed when the people come. So we want to build it up gradually. So I know by next week we should be talking about 200 to 300 passengers because the present rig we are using can carry about 560 people.
By the time we begin to run efficiently, then you should get. That's how we started in Kaduna, Abuja. Okay. It was 100 in Abuja, 100. That I thought you need 300. Now we're doing 4,000 plus.
The minister says he's optimistic that the Apapa Port Train Terminal project will be completed and commissioned before the end of January. Amaechi, Plus TV Africa.
Joining us on Business News tonight is our Abuja Bureau Chief and Head of Northern Operations, Amaechi, to bring us up to speed on the Apapa Port Rail. It is believed that the rail terminal, when connected to the port, will reduce the traffic gridlock in Lagos and impact on businesses positively. What's your take on this?
Yes, if you observe from when the gridlock started till this present, businesses have suffered, because there are many parts of Lagos that they are inaccessible. If you do small, especially small and medium businesses, where you have to run to the market, get goods, and come back and sell. Now, but a situation where those trailers no longer have access to the port, which is part of the rail modernization project. The moment it is connected to the ports, the initial contract was to run from Ebute-Metta to Ibadan. But the federal government, in their wisdom, now thought that if it is connected to the ports, the trailers will not have access into Lagos, which is already choked up. We are talking of over 6 million persons daily.
6 million persons.
Over 6 million persons. Now, if you can stop these trailers from coming into Lagos State, then you see that, just like you said, the traffic gridlock will be reduced. Then businesses can access markets, access customers, and it just becomes a win-win situation for them. So it's very key, and that is a priority project for the federal government. At the inspection yesterday, the minister said that that project must be commissioned before the end of January. He has tasked the contractors to speed up whatever they are doing, because Lagos, the traffic situation in Lagos has to change. Businesses and businessmen must have access to markets and access to their customers. So that way, I think it's going to be a positive development for them.
Okay, let us look at it regionally. Right now, there is talks that the Lagos-Abeokuta-Ibadan Rail Modernization project will impact positively on the southwest state. How true is this really?
Now, if you go back to history, remember that the southwest governors have had this confab where they meet every year, talk about how they can integrate the economies of southwest states into Lagos. But the idea was, if they could, the best way to link the economy is by rail. Now, Lagos on its own as a metropolis, a mega city, Lagos on its own has the capacity to exist as an independent country. It is one of the few states, there are 36 states, we don't have up to 5 that can generate their own revenue, just like California in the US. If Lagos were to be a state, it will have a very sound economy within West Africa. There are West African countries that Lagos will have a better GDP than them. Now, the rail is running from Lagos, Abeokuta, Ibadan. So you see that the complexity of movement is going to change. Some people who want to be like me, who doesn't want the noise of the city center, can go to a place like Abeokuta, rent a house or buy a small land, build your residential accommodation.
Come to Lagos to work.
Come to Lagos to work. In the night, you go back to your house in Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Okay.
So you see, the Lagos Abeokuta Ibadan is just a first step, because under the rail master plan, the Lagos Abeokuta, which runs down to the Jeba, this runs down to Niger State, connects to Abuja, connects back to Kaduna, and then to Kano. Now, but we are talking about the Lagos Ibadan, because you see, it's not it goes through Abeokuta, like I said.
Yes,
so you see, so many people are going to leave Lagos.
Okay.
So they are going to carry the money for house rents, the money for school fees for their children.
To other ventures.
Yes, are going to take it to these other states. So you see, the states are already benefiting from this venture.
All right, very well. Just before we let you go, let's talk about cost of goods and services. We hear that it will reduce when commercial operations resume fully. Just how true is this?
When the poor farmer in Abeokuta or the villages along the rail track can just carry his vegetables, enter the train and come to sell it in Lagos. You see, Lagos is now having more foodstuff, more goods coming in. So automatically, the rail itself, that is why it is widely said that among the few things that can improve the economy of any nation, you must have a functional rail system, you must have a working seaport. Are you understanding me now? You must have power, and then you must have a thriving steel industry. So now, the rail modernization project has brought it. Before, we had the narrow gauge, which was abandoned for over how many years. But now, in the wisdom that the standard gauge rail track is now being constructed, is also going to be constructed into the ports. Though before, we had the narrow gauge that got to the port to a certain level, but it was not being used. Now, what the MD of the Nigerian Railway Corporation said is that apart from the standard gauge rail track that is also going to terminate at the ports, that the federal government thought in its wisdom that, see, we're not going to abandon over 3,000 kilometers of narrow gauge rail tracks around the country. So these tracks now will be used to take goods and services out. So you see, there is no how in the short term, once already we are hearing that commercial services have started along the Lagos-Ibadan route. We are hoping that soon when they begin to ferry goods and services, then you see price to start dropping.
Well, I guess some cheering news for Lagosians and those living in the southwest region then.
Very cheery news.
All right, that was Abuja Chief and Head of Northern Operations, Amadin Oye. Many thanks for joining us on Business News for tonight.
Thank you.